Two businesses are in the same industry, the same city, and are spending the same amount of money on ads. The difference is that one of them spends $80 per lead, the other $15. I run a meta ads agency and I see this kind of thing all the time, but the problem never really lies in the ads, it lies in the offer. The good news is that I'm going to show you exactly how to build a good offer, and best news is that building an offer is a skill. So the more you practice it, the better you're going to get. In my last video, I spent about 2 minutes on offers, and that just wasn't enough. So today we're going deep. I'm going to show you the 4 levers of an offer. I'm going to show you real world examples, and I'm going to show you the math behind an offer that allows you to give hundreds of dollars of value away for free without it costing you a dime out of pocket. Oh, and near the end, I'm going to give you a quick test that you can use to find out if your offer is ready or not. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so in order to figure out what an offer is, we have to first talk about what it's not. So your offer is not a percentage discount. Percentage discounts can work. That's just not what we're talking about today, because when you build the offer correctly, it provides massive leverage on your advertising and marketing because it incentivizes someone to take action far more than a percentage discount will, and especially far more than a 10% would. So when we're talking about an offer, we got to talk about what they get, what they pay, and why now, and the levers will kind of explain that a little bit better to you. So there are 4 levers. First, we got to grow something, then we got to shrink the rest. So grow the prize. So basically explaining grow the prize is, let's say you have 2 offers. You got offer 1 and you got offer 2. They're both priced at $4,000. Offer 1, $4,000. Offer 2, $4,000, but you have bonus 1, bonus 2, bonus 3. Just as a consumer thinking about this, which one would you probably rather have? Obviously this one. So that being said, you're going to spend $4,000, you're going to get your bonuses. We have to build it that way. And that's kind of what the grow the prize is. It's add more to the pot so that $4,000 is perceived as less than what they're paying, because you would have paid $4,000 for the first one anyways. All right, so $250, $250. So here's another example: gutter cleaning and gutter cleaning plus soffit wash. If anybody knows gutters, this is not super difficult to add here. So you may as well add that, keep the same price, and you're far more likely to convert this one than you would be for this one. Okay, so $5,000 for the patio installation and $5,000 for the patio installation plus free seal and 10% off your next project. Now, I know I said no discounts, but this is a discount used in a very specific way. So this 10% off discount is 10% off your next project. This is a retention play. So you're potentially offsetting the need to acquire a new customer in the future by providing 10% off of their next project with you. When dealing with contractors, sometimes you're going to deal with price shoppers. Honestly, most of the time you're probably going to deal with price shoppers. So you offer something like this so that it kind of removes that price shopping in the future, or at least gives an opportunity to remove the price shopping in the future. And they got that 10% off because they already paid you $5,000. We're not just giving them a percentage for doing nothing. Now, window cleaning, we have $650 for window cleaning, and then we have $650 for window cleaning, gutter cleaning, and soffit wash. Now, the reason I give this example is because you would never have paid $650 for window cleaning to begin with. So this offer just feels like I'm paying $650 for a bundle of window cleaning, gutter cleaning, and soffit wash. In order for the offer to make sense, for it to actually seem more valuable than what they're paying, is it has to be very similar in price to what they would have paid initially for just the one main service. It can't be like an insane amount more, because then it just feels like they're paying for all the bonuses. So no one would pay $650 for window cleaning, so now the bonus feels just like a market value bundle. The value has to seem free or free enough, which I'll kind of explain later in the calculation section where I actually explain the math. Okay, so let's bring it back to shrink the risk. So there's a bunch of ways to shrink the risk. A lot of them are in the form of a guarantee, but the goal of shrinking the risk is just because a lot of people are nervous, especially with service-based businesses, that what they're going to get from the service is not what they thought they were promised. To put it into perspective, if you have a product that you can physically hold in your hand, you can typically know that it's a good product or not. So I have my wallet kind of next to me here. I can hold this, I can open it, I can see that this is a good product. Now with a service, I can't until it's completed, and you can't usually return a service. So how do we make people feel like they're going to get their money's worth no matter what? We offer a guarantee. So satisfaction guarantee is one way to do it. This is a guarantee on the end result. This is a free trial guarantee. So this is be able to test what it is ahead of time. So this is anything that has like some sort of recurring payment. Results guarantee. This is if you're a business that helps people achieve an outcome. So like weight loss coaching, for example, like you would do a results guarantee. Experience guarantee. This is something that maybe a restaurant could do. You offer a 5-star experience or we pay for your meal. Honestly, a lot of the time restaurants do this just by giving people their money back if they had a bad experience or if people requested a refund. And then money back guarantee, as simple as it says, a money back guarantee. If you're not happy, you get your money back. So shrinking the risk, super important in the offer. Next is shrink the wait. So you want to make something faster and easier. So how do you do that? How quickly can I get the desired result? And how quickly can I make it for them to get there? Those are the two things that kind of shrink the weight, sorry. So first example would be weight loss. So lose 20 pounds in 8 weeks by following this workout program for $1,000. A better offer that kind of uses this lever is lose 20 pounds in 6 weeks by following this workout program that we designed specifically for your needs and schedule. So notice that the difference is just workout program versus designed specifically for your needs and schedule. That's going to automatically make it easier for the person to follow and therefore easier for them to get their end result faster. Next example would be painting. We're painting a living room and a kitchen in 5 days for $4,000. Or we're a living room and kitchen painted in 5 days. So it's not necessarily faster. So I think this is a typo. So in most cases, we want to do like 2 days. But we move everything, cover everything, and put it all back before we leave. So that's automatically, this would be a 2, faster. And we move everything, cover everything, and put it all back before we leave. Makes a homeowner's life super easy. They don't have to touch anything. You just come in, paint their house, and that's a service that I would pay a premium for. So in some cases, I would even be able to charge a little bit over market rate because we're doing all this extra work. So I might be able to charge $4,500, and that'll come in later with the offer math. Next would be shrink the price feel. So notice that I didn't say shrink the price. We're shrinking how the price feels, and that's by comparing it to something else. So this is the person, this is your offer. Down here is a price anchor, person, offer. Notice that in comparison, the anchor is significantly larger than your offer, which makes this seem like a no-brainer. So to put that into an example, we got $20,000 replacement for a cracked driveway. Obviously, that solves a problem. You have a cracked driveway. If you want it to be fixed, you could just replace it for $20,000. Or you can buy $3,000 driveway sealing that accomplishes virtually the same thing, and it's significantly less of a price. So when you compare the two, this one seems like a no-brainer. But if you didn't have this here, it'd be like, wow, this is super expensive. So that's a use case that you can shrink the price feel. So another one, $2,400 a year in damaged goods from your puppy chewing and scratching things. Or $600 one-time training that solves this. And if you want to make that better, $600 one-time training that follows a guarantee. Okay, next. Last tip is give them a reason to buy today. Provide a real deadline for this offer. And the key word is it has to be real. I mean, there are so many people who will give these fake deadlines that you can see online where it's like, I don't know if you've ever gone to a website and it says, oh, get this discount if you buy within 8 hours. And then you go back the next day and it says, get this discount and buy within 8 hours. And obviously, once you see that, you're like, okay, well, this is not a real discount. And therefore, I kind of feel like the value of what they're offering me is diminished. So if you're going to make an offer and you're going to give it a deadline, make sure the deadline's real and stop the offer by that deadline. Additionally, what you could do to kind of make the offer a little stronger when you're doing like give them a reason to buy, providing a deadline, is also providing a limit. So sometimes if you don't have a deadline but you have a capacity, say the capacity, make sure the capacity is real, and also stop at that deadline. Okay, so I want to look at a few real examples here. So the first real example would be the polymeric sanding and sealing get free window cleaning offer. So notice in this advertisement, we have the headline super large here with the offer in a different color, so it kind of reads better with the contrast. We have a great before and after picture here of obviously this patio is old, worn, some cracks, some loose sand here, and then we have a freshly done patio here on the right. And then we have free window cleaning right here. We have a little image for those that are a little more visual, and this kind of says the same thing as this, but basically in picture form. This one over here, we have free sod with every interlock job. Over here, we have another free sod thing we're showing free sod here, we're showing interlock get done here, and then we have limited time only here. This was actually a limited time. This only lasted for a month. So that being said, this kind of just shows examples of offers that you can use in ads, and both of these actually converted very well for image ads. Okay, so one of the most important things now is getting into the offer math. So for the offer math, you have a couple things to look at. So let's say you are offering a bonus that is worth $500 to a customer if they were going to buy it outright. So if you just wanted to sell this thing, someone would pay you $500 for it. And it actually cost you $200 to give it to the customer. So whether it was a $500 value and you just handed them $200 in cash, or what's most likely is you're paying $200 in labor and materials and setup fees, things like that. So it cost you $200 to deliver. The discrepancy here is $300. That is the value gap. This is most important. The bigger value gap that you can build, the better your offer will be. So an example of this is, let's say your main service is around $1,000. So for the sake of the example, let's call this gutter cleaning. Obviously unreasonable to pay $1,000 for gutter cleaning, but so main service is $1,000. The bonus service, let's call this soffit cleaning, is $500. That's what they would pay face value for the services. The bonus cost, what it costs you to deliver, is $200, like the example above. So the total sale price that a customer sees would be $1,200. That's $1,500 in value for only $1,200, discrepancy of $300. So why is this important? Because what you're going to do when you're actually pricing your offers is you're going to take the cost of the bonus plus the full service fee of the main service, and you're going to add them together, and that discrepancy becomes the reason to buy. So customer sees $1,500 of stuff for $1,200, and it has a higher perceived value of what they got than what they paid for. So the customer sees that as a win. Business owner makes the full ticket on the $1,000, so they're not losing any money there, and they're making a good amount of profit on the $1,000 depending on their margin. But there's zero loss out of pocket on the bonus. We've made an extra $100, or in this case, I guess it would be $200 for this example. We've made an extra $200 from the customer by charging $1,200. So we covered the cost to deliver and made it more likely someone would buy our main service, which was the goal the whole time. So we're using this offer to sell our main service by adding on our bonus service that the customer pays for in terms of cost. We don't make any profit on it. The goal is not to make any profit on it. The goal is just to get a customer to buy the main thing and incentivize them to buy the main thing. So hopefully that makes sense. If you do have any questions about any of that, please feel free to leave it in the comments below and I'll be happy to answer it and potentially make a new video on it in the future. So the benefits of this are you got a sale, they got more than they paid for, you lost nothing giving it to them, and there's a happy customer, which is more likely to review you positively. And the more positive reviews you get, the more likely you are to sell a person in the future, and the cycle continues. Offers are a fantastic way to have higher leverage on your ad spend and your marketing efforts. And they do take a bit of time to kind of think through, and they can be challenging because there's a lot that goes into making a solid offer. And if you're thinking about this, thinking, oh, I don't know how to make an offer, I would love if someone could do it for me. I run an ad agency called Acquirely. We do this for all of our customers that sign on with us. We walk them through how to make a better offer. If they don't need an offer, then we'll save it for when they do need an offer. But this is what we do. We build offers, so I'll be happy to help. If you do want to work with us, there will be a link below. Click the website, fill out the form, and you can apply to work with us there. Okay, quick test. So this is what I said I would give you guys at the start of the video. It's super simple, takes about 10 seconds. Say your offer to someone who's never heard it, and if they can't tell why it's a good deal in 10 seconds, it's not good enough or it's not clear enough. Sometimes clarity is the only thing that's missing. So here's exactly how to say it so that it sounds clear. How to present it. Get thing they want plus a bonus that costs you a little bit, backed by a promise that makes it safe if you book by a real date because there's a limit on it. So an example of this would be get polymeric sanding and sealing plus a free exterior window cleaning backed by 100% satisfaction guarantee if you book by August 31st because only 25 people are allowed to access this deal. Okay, so that basically covers everything that we've talked about around offers. If you have any questions around any of these things and you'd kind of like me to dive into it in even more detail, I'd be happy to. But this should get you rolling to making your own offers. Leave some of your offer ideas in the comments. I'd love to hear something that I've never heard before and see how creative you guys can really be.